Martial arts school owners, you're not running a sports club. Okay, so before I get into the full video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button for us. Do us a favor, because about 80% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribers. So please do me a favor. You've heard me say this before, one martial artist to another. Just spend 2 or 3 seconds hitting that subscribe button, and then we'll get into it, okay? So, you're not running a sports club. So many school owners that I speak to, they're in that fixed mindset, which is understandable because that was me from 2004 till about 2012ish. They're in that fixed mindset of, I've got this syllabus, this is what I need to do, and I just do warm-ups very similar to other types of clubs. I do pretty much everything that my sensei used to do. I might have tweaked it a little bit round, but the more parents that you speak to, they come through your doors having expectations of you being like another sports club. So over the years, that then does start to ingrain in your mind. And then you think, well, yeah, I am like another sports club and I shouldn't really be charging more. And I should just be sticking to this and so on. Now, again, thinking of Warren Buffett's famous quote there, or one of his quotes, observe the masses and do the opposite. If you're wanting your school to be successful, profitable, provide you with a decent income without selling out, without your student standards suffering, you need to make sure that you're doing things differently than other people. Now, I would only ever listen to your sensei if, and I'm not talking about technical standard here, definitely not, unless they've got a school of 250, 300 active count, it's a full-time venue, and obviously they're doing everything and they're the best around, really. Now, I'm not talking about competition standard or technical standard, nothing at all. I've got some, I would say my main sensei, extremely technical, which is fantastic. But I always want to make sure that I'm listening to people who've built something that I want to build. So again, before I forget, I've got this here on my knee. If you haven't invested in a copy of this, please do so, okay? Get it down, not well, you can download it. I think it's on Kindle, isn't it? On Amazon. How to Build a Highly Profitable Martial Arts School by me. Yes, that is my name. Okay, check out the website as well, dervishdervish.com. There's going to be lots of information on there for you. Obviously, there's blogs specific to martial arts school owners, and keep looking at this channel as well, because we try and put out a couple of videos a week for anybody that's looking to build the martial arts school, and definitely for my mentees as well. So as always, just get a pen and paper or Word document up, start typing some things here. So you can't treat your school like a normal sports club. It's not, obviously, it sounds daft, this, it's not football or rugby or cricket or, swimming or anything like that, or netball. Yes, you're going to teach physical aspects of your art, of course you are. Yes, you're going to have physical elements to it. You're going to make sure they're as technical as they can possibly be down to your tutoring and so on. But you need to make sure that you're framing the parent's mindset completely different from anything they've seen before. So if you're obviously in England, in the UK and so on, and you're going to take your child to football, you've got pretty much a good idea of what's going to happen. It's likely to be, outside or inside a five-a-side or something like that. You're going to know the things that they're going to be doing. Same with rugby. Obviously, I'd like to think so. Same with swimming. There's going to be a pool there. They're going to get in and so on. Now, when it comes to, obviously, my style is karate, but regardless if it's judo, jiu-jitsu, karate, tai chi, kung fu, wing chun, whatever it is, they're not really going to have an idea of what to expect. They might, reference things like Karate Kid, okay? Going back a little bit older, one of the best films ever, Enter the Dragon. They might have ideas of, yeah, there might be people with bare feet, the people that look like they're wearing pajamas and so on. So it's up to you really from the first point of contact to start framing them properly about how to think of your school and your program. So again, I'm not going to go into the full ins and outs of things that you'd say on the initial call script, or the first lesson, the intro, the second lesson call script, the second lesson. But during those first two steps of them visiting your school, you need to get it into their mind that this is a lot different than I thought it was going to be. These guys are professional. These guys are slick. These guys know what they're doing. Wow, I can't believe everything they're doing here. Look at these kids that are bowing on and off. Look at this junior black belt that's 12, 13 years old helping me out, being polite. Look at how neat the school is and so on. So again, you've got to frame them properly, and that starts pretty much from the initial call, really, or at least if it's an email, the initial outbound email that you sent them after they've responded, after they've inquired into your school. The last thing you want to do is come down to our gym. Yeah, we run classes Monday and Wednesdays at 6. I'll see you there. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit, mate. it needs to be a lot more professional than that. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, like myself here, you can tell I haven't been to elocution lessons, but you need to try and raise your standard there, okay? So you could, if your lessons are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, whatever, you can say, right, well, we have our intro lesson at Mondays at 7:30, and we've got one at Wednesdays at 6:30. Which one's better for you, Mrs. Smith? All right, you're not gonna over the phone tell them the 7 days you're open and which classes you've got, because a confused customer's not going to do anything, or a confused lead doesn't buy. So you need to make sure that definitely you're only telling them 2 slots to choose from, ideally within 24 or 48 hours after the inquiry. After you're speaking to them, you want to get them into your school as soon as possible. This is what happens when I'm creating these videos. I'll go off on all tangents and so on, but hopefully you're picking up some things here. So going back to it, don't be running your martial arts school, your business, like a hobby. I'm sure there's another video on this channel about running it like a business, not a hobby. It's not a sports club, okay? It's not like you pay your subs every lesson and so on. Now, if they're still paying you or transferring it into your account every lesson, that's one thing we need to change, because you want to make sure that they're paying once a month and then that's it, done. And every time they're coming into your school, it's always a positive experience. So there are so many elements that you need to look at to build a successful school. Yes, your curriculum. Yes, how the school looks, mirrors, mats, presentation, seating area. Those are all good things, but people are going to stick around if you make them feel valued, and if they're learning, and if you've got a genuine concern and you built a rapport for them. So you might think, well, I'm traditional Shotokan, I can't do any of this stripe belts, and we don't finish off with the skills drill. I've got to do all key on, and it needs to be like this and so on. Yeah, I'm not in any way saying, bastardize or butcher your art, but I'm saying bring in little things that will help retention and will help you build a successful business. Because that's probably why you're watching this. Now, I mention this a lot to my mentees, especially when we're having discovery calls. There's going to be people that watch this, like I did, obviously, when I was picking up generic business information in the early 2010s and so on, and just trying to implement and push everything into the business as I could. But now, obviously, with specific industry knowledge, again, invest in a copy of that. Not for the £4 I get off Amazon or the £4.17 I get from them. It's got nothing to do with it. It's more about helping you build a profitable martial arts school that's specific to martial arts school owners. You need to think, am I going to sit on the fence now and wait another few months, wait another 6 months, wait another year? Because I can guarantee if you do, you're going to be in the same position. You might have grown your school by 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You might have even grown your tuition by a couple of £100, something like that. But when you're taking into consideration inflation and that type of thing, it's negligible. Okay, we need to make sure we're taking big steps further forward all the time, getting the marketing going, getting the retention going, looking after the 2 main pillars of building your school, which again is attracting and enrolling a student, and number 2, keeping hold of them forever. So I can talk a lot about this, and hopefully you've picked up a few little nuggets of information there. But the 3 things you need to do, if you're serious, again, invest in a copy of that. Okay, how to build a highly profitable martial arts school. It's on Amazon. It's available for you. Okay, £13, £14, whatever it is. Have a look at more videos on this channel. Okay, make some notes. But if you truly are serious and you want to grow, if you start to work with me, your school will not be in the same position in 12 months' time. It will be unrecognizable. Okay, so good luck. Keep taking steps further forward. If you want more information, like I said, my name's Dervish. Check out the website, dervish.com. Go on to the martial arts business education there, and hopefully we'll speak soon. Anyway, take care. Keep delivering your fantastic art and keep looking after your students. All the best. I will try and smile next time. Take care.